Hey everybody, welcome back to Senscape. And what I'm going to actually show for you guys today is actually not going to be a fragrance review video, but I'm actually answering a question that I got from one of my viewers. And it's actually a question I've got quite a lot from a lot of people. And I was looking at it, I was like, you know what? Instead of just answering everybody back one by one, I was like, let me go ahead and make a video for it because you guys might be interested in that, which is what is a good spray routine as far as when you're wearing your fragrance to be able to get like your fragrance to last a little bit longer or to project properly. So now the thing about it is with fragrances, it all depends on the type of fragrance that you're wearing. Like for example, if you're wearing something that is very strong, I have some fragrances that are absolutely like beastly fragrances that project very strongly, like let's say for example Centaurus or Leighton or something like that. Those are fragrances that are very strong projecting fragrances. So in that aspect, you're going to pretty much spray less than something that is a little bit lighter. Like for example, if you are wearing let's just say if you have for example Versace Mano Fresh. Versace Mano Fresh, I'll probably have more sprays on because it is more of a fresher type fragrance. It is more of a light airy fragrance compared to something darker or stronger. So depending on the situation of what you're going to wear your fragrance, if you're going to be wearing it like let's say out to out on a date or something like that, and you're going to be outdoors, then you're going to probably spray a little bit more than if you're going to be going to a job interview, because at that point you don't want to be really projecting that fragrance. You just want to have like something that is a very close scent bubble, so that way when you're going, let's say reaching out to shake your interviewer's hand, they just get a little bit of a whiff of your fragrance. And then also the fragrance that you wear for that occasion should be a proper fragrance. It should not be something that is a seductive type fragrance. It should not be something that's very loud or a very like really niche type fragrance. You probably would want to go more with a more of a designer type fragrance, something that is, or it doesn't have to be designer, but something that is more of a mellow type fragrance for that. So as far as for me, let's say if I were to go to a job interview, fragrance that I would personally choose would be probably something like Juliet Has a Gun Ex Vetiver, because it is just a fresh vetiver fragrance. It is not a strong projecting fragrance. It does last, so it will be able to last throughout the interview, but it's not a strong projecting fragrance. It's not a sweet fragrance that is it doesn't matter if you're wearing something sweet, but it's not like a overly sweet fragrance or something that is a very loud fragrance. For example, I would not wear let's say Absolute Aventus or something like that to a job interview, because it is a very strong fragrance, or like Dior Sauvage or something like that. So it's too loud of a fragrance. It is something that is, I'll say, way too much of a seductive type fragrance, instead of wearing something that you're just trying to show that you are a clean, confident person. So as far as back to the spray routine, so let's say if you're somebody that is going to the job interview, I would probably do 2-3 sprays at the most, depending on the type of fragrance that it is. So, and if it's something that is fragrance that sits very, very close to skin, not a loud projecting fragrance, then you could probably dial up the sprays a little bit. But if it's a very loud fragrance, if the fragrance already is loud on its own, I would probably skip that fragrance and go for something else. But if you were to wear that fragrance, do probably 1 spray. Now, if you are going out, let's say you're going to the gym or something like that, you're going to be sweating. Now, at that point, there's 2 different things with the fragrance. You don't want to overspray a loud fragrance, because when you're working out, it will get very cloying and annoying to yourself, and it's going to be annoying to the people that's around you. Now, in a gym setting, you are in the open. It is going to be hopefully you're in a ventilated gym. If you're not, I I feel sorry for you, but hopefully it's ventilated, so it's going to um, pretty much be able to help your fragrance out. Now, when you're in a gym setting, you're working out, you're sweating, is going to make that fragrance evaporate even faster. So that's why you want to dial down your sprays at the gym, because you're going to be projecting that fragrance a lot faster, but that means that that fragrance will also be burning off of you much faster. So if you're spraying the fragrance directly, let's say directly on skin at the gym, that fragrance will, it doesn't matter what fragrance you wear, more than likely that fragrance will only last you about an hour, hour and a half, because you're going to burn through that fragrance faster, because what you're doing is that your body's warming up, you're sweating, and the way you smell a fragrance is pretty much you are projecting the alcohol molecules out into the air with the fragrance attached to it, and that's what people are smelling. So if you're sweating, you are pretty much projecting that much faster. It's just like let's say if you have water in a pan, you let the water sit in a pan and you put it at a low simmer, it's going to evaporate a lot slower than if you crank it up and you're boiling it out. And because you're going to see the little bit of steam when you put it in a simmer, that's what you're getting with your fragrance, is that little bit of steam is your fragrance. And if you put it and you boil it up, like I said, you're outside in the heat, or you are working out or something like that, you're pretty much cranking up the heat on that fragrance, and then you're projecting it much, much faster, but you are burning through that fragrance faster. So it's the same thing. You have a pot of water, you only have like a cup of water in there, it will, at a simmer, it will last longer than if you crank up the heat. So that is also another thing to understand with fragrances. So depending on the situation or what you're going to wear, it will burn off faster if you're outside in the heat, or if you're doing something that you're getting hotter or sweating more. Now, a way to kind of get around that is that you can spray on clothes, but if you're working out, your clothes are still going to be getting hot, and you're still going to project that fragrance a little bit more. Now, when you spray on clothes, that does give it like a buffer layer, with a buffer of insulation that prevents that fragrance from evaporating so fast, compared to being on skin. Now, I like to spray on both clothes and skin for the purpose that if you have a fragrance that is on clothes, it will last longer, but it will not project as hard. But when you spray it on skin, it will project a lot more. So I like to spray both on clothes and skin, because you get that good projection at the beginning, and then whatever you have on your clothes, throughout the time that you're wearing it, your clothes will then warm up, take up your body heat and everything. And then over time, like later on throughout the day, that's when it's going to start projecting itself a little bit more and everything like that. And that's going to pretty much give you that nicer scent bubble around you. Now, as far as spraying on clothes, there are some fragrances that you can spray on clothes, some that you can't. Now, for example, I will be using Cinque Terre. That is just because somebody asked me about that one. This one, if you look at it, the bottle is clear. It is a clear bottle. It is blue at the top, but that's not the color of the fragrance. The fragrance is really that, pretty much that yellow that you see, that's the fragrance. So it is not a very, very dark fragrance. So you can spray something like this on clothes, but what you want to do is, like, let's say I put on this white shirt just as a demonstration, and I'm going to spray this on clothes. What I would do is, I'm not going to spray up close. You never want to spray that close to your fragrance. Now, any fragrance that you're spraying, because it can stain your clothes. But if you're missing it from far away, and being that the Manceras, they do have a pressurized atomizer, you're just going to be misting it on your clothes, and that's not going to leave any stains. Now, there are some other fragrances, like, for example, I will show you here, which is my Mod Scent of Arabia. This is a clear bottle. Like, if you see, this is a clear bottle, and you can tell just by me shaking it around that it stains the inside of the bottle. This fragrance right here will stain clothes. So if you're going to wear this fragrance with white clothes, you might want to spray it on yourself first before you put on your clothes, and then put your clothes on top of it afterwards. So I would probably spray it on myself first, wait a few minutes for it to kind of settle into my skin, so that way it's not going to absorb into the clothes, and then put the clothes on top of it. But a fragrance like this one, especially Scent of Arabia, this one is like my most powerful fragrance. And this thing lasts like, I swear, if you put it on anything, it'll probably last like 6 months on it. That's how powerful this fragrance is. Um, so I would spray that one directly on skin. So if you have something, a fragrance that has a very, very dark juice, or let's say, for example, you're not able to see what color the juice is, I'll do, for example, let me put this away real quick. Let's just say, for example, like this Parfums de Marly, the Perseus. You cannot see the color of the juice for that one. So what you can do is you can get something white, or you can get like a piece of toilet paper or whatever it is, and just kind of spray it up close on the paper and look to see what color the fragrance is. If it's a very dark color, then I probably would not spray it on the light clothes directly. If you're wearing an undershirt, probably spray it on your undershirt if you're not worried about staining your undershirt. But at that point, then I would probably spray these fragrances on directly on skin. Now, my way I spray fragrances, it all depends on the situation, on where I'm going. So let's say if I'm going to an office setting, like I will probably spray on clothes directly. I'll probably do like 2 sprays. I'll probably do 2 in the chest, 1 lower here, or I'll probably do 2 at the lower extremities. I like to spray more at the lower extremities, especially in the front, because if you spray up high, you're going to get that fragrance is going to be straight in your nose all day long, and you're going to go nose blind to it. You're going to think that your fragrance is not working. It's still there, it's just that you went nose blind to it. It's the same thing like if, for example, if you're cooking at home, if you're cooking something and you're inside the house the whole entire time cooking, you don't really smell what you're cooking, especially after like you're done cooking and everything like that. You're going to think like, okay, everything is all said and done. Then you go outside for a few minutes, come back in, and you smell like, oh wow, it smells like food in my house. The reason why is because you went nose blind to it. So the thing is, when you spray up here at your upper extremities, you're going to go nose blind to it a lot faster than if you spray at your lower extremities and all that. So my way that I like to spray, let's say if I'm going to go to an office setting, I'll probably do 2 sprays and 1 in the back just to give me a nice little scent trail. The reason why I like to spray in the back, I'll probably spray like 1 spray here, 1 spray there. That would be for an outdoor setting or something more open. I'll do 2 sprays. The reason why I like to spray in the back is when you're walking past somebody, you can leave a nice little scent trail, or let's say somebody's walking behind you, they can smell your fragrance, but it's not too many sprays, so that way it's not overwhelming. So you never want to overwhelm anybody, because that pretty much makes a fragrance like pretty much instead of smelling good, you end up smelling pretty much terrible. So you never want to overspray a fragrance, but also underspraying a fragrance is not ideal too. You're probably better off underspraying a fragrance than overspraying, but you want to also, if you have a fragrance on and you paid for the fragrance, you pretty much want to smell good. That's the whole purpose of this lifestyle, is to smell good. So what I would do, let's say if I'm going to be in a more open setting or at a restaurant, which is more open, my spray routine would be, I usually would do 2 sprays, 1 on each side of the lower extremities, 1 on the forearm, 1 on this forearm, and then after that 2 sprays in the back of the head. So in back of the, pretty much on your back right over here. So you do 1 spray here, 1 spray there, and that should be enough for some fragrances. Now, if it's a fragrance that is not a very loud fragrance, like for example, like this, I would probably use a 3 or a 6 spray for outdoors. 3 sprays for indoors would be 2 here and 1 in the back, because this fragrance is pretty loud. Now, for example, let me find something that is not too loud of a fragrance. Um, mm, yeah, I can't think anything like that. Okay. Let's just say, okay. All right. Yeah, there go one. All right, Banana Republic, Pure White 90. This is not a very loud fragrance. So this one, if I did 6 sprays, and also it's not a fragrance that lasts that long. If I did 6 sprays, it probably wouldn't last that long on me. So this one, what I might do is I might do 1 spray here, one, two, okay. So sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 4 sprays around here. I never like spraying up here because I don't want to get overwhelmed. 1 spray here, 1 spray here, 1 spray, 1 spray, and that should be good. So at that point, you sprayed on skin, so that way you can have your projection. And the reason why I like to spray on my arms is because when you're walking, you usually swing your arms a little bit, and also that is going to pretty much project that fragrance out and give you the little scent bubble around you. Also, whenever you reach out to shake somebody's hand, your fragrance is wafting out to that person, and then they're going to get the fragrance. But you only did 1 spray, so then the fragrance that wafts out to them is not too strong. You never want to spray too many sprays on your arm, because whenever you go out to shake somebody's hand, or if you're giving somebody a hug or anything like that, you don't want to be way too loud, so that way that fragrance is not overwhelming people. So I hope that that helps out with you. As far as like, also another thing is, for summertime and cooler weather fragrances, I'll say warmer weather and cooler weather fragrances, it's going to be a little bit different, the amount of sprays that you need. Usually if it's a fragrance that is not really a strong projector, you're going to need probably more sprays than one that is an absolutely beast of a projection fragrance. So like, for example, if you've ever smelled Creed Centaurus, this is one that projects very loudly. It's a fragrance that you could probably spray a lot more. But if you were to wear Original Vetiver, you probably would spray more with that one, because it's not really a beast of a fragrance as far as like the way it lasts and all that stuff. So guys, pretty much this is how I do my fragrances and all that. So if you could let me know, what is your fragrance routine, how you spray, and if you have any other questions, please let me know. So guys, thank you very much for watching the video. And if you like that kind of content and everything like that, guys, this is a small channel, so please do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and hit that bell notification, so you can get more content, and well, more of the fragrances that I put out, and more information for you guys. So guys, thank you very much, and I'll see you on the next one.